The whistle blows. The tip controlled by the Seminarians.
It's the Kyle Hyman Show on Redeemer Radio.
On today's show, some seminarians stop in, still recovering from an exciting night of basketball last night at the 5th annual Cupertino Classic held at Bishop Dwenger High School. We'll talk about the game, but also get an update from them and learn about what their days look like when they're home for a break from seminary. And we've got coffee, donuts, orange juice. My son is here, so we're ready for a good show.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kyle Hyman.
Today is December 28th, 2018. This is episode 587. I'm Kyle Hyman, and joining me, as always, is Nicole Rudolph.
Hey, good morning, Kyle.
And joining me, as not always, are three of our seminarians and my son, Sebastian. He could not contain himself this morning. He wanted to be part of the enthusiasm that is the post-Cupertino Classic seminarian wrap-up. This has kind of become a tradition. I think this is our third year doing this. So with us, we have Deacon Spencer St. Louis, all the way from Italy.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Kyle.
Yeah, we have Jacob Schneider here.
Glad to be back again.
Our seminarian and past intern of the show, Vince Ferrote.
Good morning, Kyle.
So good to have you guys here. One of my favorite things from last night was at the end of the game, and I posted this on Instagram, a little picture of after the game, the seminarians and the priests. We're going to get into the game. We'll talk about you guys have the score sheet out here and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. But after the game was over, the seminarians and the priests all came out on the court, and Father Ben was asked to lead a prayer. And I don't remember this from past. Maybe it happened last year. I don't remember. But you guys sang the Salve Regina, which I thought was awesome. And everybody's like getting out their phones. It was really cool. So good to see you guys being competitive, being friends, being brothers, and having some fun, and then kind of ending on a prayer. So that was nice. I thought we could sing the Salve Regina this morning, but it is early. So
no, thank you.
Instead, I was wondering if Deacon Spencer St. Louis, since you've been studying over in Italy, if you could lead us in an Italian prayer.
Certainly. We'll go ahead and do the Our Father. So it's the same prayer, just in Italian.
Okay.
But in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Padre nuestro, che sei nei cieli, sia santificato il tuo nome, venga il tuo regno, sia fatta la tua volontà, come in cielo, così in terra. Dacci oggi il nostro pane quotidiano, e rimetti a noi i nostri debiti, come noi li ritimiamo ai nostri debitori, e non ci indurre in tentazione, ma liberaci da male. Amen. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen. What's the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit?
That part doesn't translate. No, nel nome del Padre, e Figlio, e Spirito Santo.
Okay. It's so funny because I'm used to hearing that in Spanish, which is got some similarities.
Very similar. Guys at school really have trouble keeping them separate if they're good in either one.
Oh, so. Yeah, I would think so. All right, well, for people that were listening yesterday, our tri-bond was bars, bells, fruit, all three of which are characters on a slot machine. Yeah. Dave Steffen caught me at the game last night. It was I couldn't get it today. And then he said, well, it's because I don't gamble.
I guess that's a good reason.
With a wink, so I don't know what that means. Today's tri-bond, three things have one thing in common. A short men's haircut, a type of saw, one of the first men on the moon. Don't say it if you know it. But for those that do know it, email show@redeemerradio.com. Call or text the Holy Cross College text line at 260-436-9598. I've got something to send you. I don't know if Nicole thinks it's funny enough to send out or not, but if it meets her approval, we'll send it out.
It's up to me? Okay.
Yeah. Again, it is a short men's haircut, a type of saw, one of the first men on the moon. And since we are talking about basketball, Cupertino Classic, Sebastian, do you have any basketball-related jokes for us this morning?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Why do basketball players love donuts?
I don't know why.
Because they love to dunk them.
If only I could, right? If only I could.
Brian has to make them.
Was there anybody last night? Is there anybody that can dunk?
There is someone who can dunk.
Who has the potential to dunk.
And he tried last night, but we ended up 2 points less. So
Who's that?
Brian Florin.
Okay.
So
He's done it in practice.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I see him not make it, so I wasn't surprised.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, he's going for it. Here we go. It's all or nothing, and nothing.
It's all or nothing. It was nothing. Sebastian, what did you think of the game last night?
Cool.
Very, very, very detailed. What was your favorite part?
I don't know.
Really building the suspense. The popcorn.
Yeah.
Popcorn is usually your favorite thing about basketball games.
Yeah.
it's a good one.
Well, good. So, of the 5 Cupertino Classics, how many have each of you played in?
So I've played in 2, and I was present at a third one. I had my ACL surgery last year, so I was
That's
home but
right.
couldn't play.
Yeah.
So this was my second playing.
Okay.
Yeah, since I've only been a seminarian for 1.5 years, this is only my second game. So I played last year at St. Joe, and I've been at the one at Dwenger and Lures in the previous years to watch these guys.
Okay.
Really good games.
Jake, 1.5 years. Deacon Spencer, how long have you been in seminary?
This is my 8th year. So the only other one that I played, I was the very original one back at St. Vincent's.
Okay.
So
All right.
yeah, that was a long time ago.
And Vince, you're 1.5 years in
Yep,
also.
Jake and I are in the same
Yeah.
class. So
And-
I've been at the past 2, and then
Yeah.
I went to a couple in years past.
Yeah. What's it been like at the Mount kind of prepping for the game?
So a great thing at the Mount is there's a lot of other guys that play basketball, and they're a lot better than us. Or I should say me. They're a lot better than me.
Okay.
So I probably played a better game because I was playing
Seminarians
against
or other students? at the-
Seminarians.
Okay.
Yeah, so we get to play probably maybe 2 times a week if we're lucky, at least every Friday. We'll
Yeah.
play for like 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
And it's really great to get all the guys together, and we play in this really nice gym right across from the seminary. And some guys throughout the week will go and shoot at our ARC, our recreational center.
Okay.
But yeah, we're able to practice a lot, probably more than the priest can.
Okay. Is that separate, the ARC, is that separate from the college, like with all of the students, or do you share that with us?
We share that with the students.
Okay.
Yeah, it's part of the university.
All right. Well, coming up, we're going to talk more about the Cupertino Classic last night, get a little rundown, a little overview of the game, a post-game, maybe wrap-up of sorts. We've got a game planned, and then also kind of find out what the Seminarians do over break. We'll talk about that all coming up here on the Kyle Hyman Show on Redeemer Radio.
Join Bishop Kevin Rhodes, Bishop of Fort Wayne South Bend, every Wednesday at noon for his weekly show, Truth in Charity. On each episode, he joins host Kyle Hyman to discuss key issues facing Catholics in the diocese and beyond. Then he answers questions submitted by listeners. If you would like to submit a question, go to redeemerradio.com/askbishop. Truth in Charity with Bishop Rhodes is brought to you in part by Notre Dame Federal Credit Union.
Rebound again by the Seminarians. They bring it back. And Matt Coonan says, I'll take that. Puts it up and in. So the one man at full court press works. Got the turnover in the bucket.
This is Kyle Hyman. I am here with some of our seminarians. My son Sebastian is here. And before we get too much into the Cupertino Classic, I did want to make a mention that if you're anything like me, my wife and I, we do kind of a year-end giving, and we kind of look at our finances and say, what kind of donations did we do this year, and what was our goals, and what would we like to support. So if that's something that you're interested in doing, we would love it if you could include Redeemer Radio in your donations at the end of the year. Also, just to make a mention that if you are over 70 and a half years old, or you help somebody with their finances, maybe a parent or a grandparent, and you help them with some of their finances, there's a loophole with IRA distribution that you could get a tax deduction and stuff like that. So maybe talk to your financial advisor, or you could call Mike here at the station, and he could explain if that's something that you might qualify for. And you can basically donate money to Redeemer Radio and save some money on your taxes, and it's a great option. So please think of Redeemer Radio in your year-end giving. You can go to redeemerradio.com, make a donation. You could call the station. If you have any questions, the number is 260-436-9598, and you'll probably just get a message if you call right now. But if you call later today, just ask for Mike. But we are here with some of our seminarians. We've got Deacon Spencer St. Louis, Jake Schneider, Vince Ferrote, all fresh off of. Are you feeling a little sore after last night? It was pretty intense.
I took 3 ibuprofen before I went to bed.
Are you serious?
Yes, I did.
By the end of the game, my wife turned to me and said, "They're getting tired." I was thinking, if it was me, I would have been tired at the end of the first quarter, if even. But before we get into last night's game, which I saw Bishop Dwenger on their Instagram posted that it was over 2,000 people that were there. Such a great attendance, such a great atmosphere, such a great game. Before we get into last night's game, though, let's do a little summary of the first 4 Cupertino Classics. What happened at those games?
Yeah, so the first Cupertino Classic I wasn't at, but it was at St. Vincent's.
I love that we have the score book.
Oh, we got the breakdown here. We got who played, how many points they had.
That is just dedicated to Cupertino Classic.
Fouls, everything.
5 games in
Beautiful.
it.
5 games.
Yeah, all 5 games here.
So the Priest won that first game.
Priest won the first game.
Yeah, I don't even have a score written down.
That's because it wasn't pretty. So no one
erased it.
No one needed to remember that score. The Priest came out with a win. That's all that
Coonans
matters.
were younger.
Right. All right, so Priest won the first one. Come back the second year.
Second year, we're at Bishop Dwenger for the first time. Again, no final score. It must have been ugly.
It wasn't as ugly as the first year, from what I remember.
So
that was
what
pretty
I got here is 39-52.
There we go. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not too embarrassing.
Not terrible.
Probably better than St.
There's
Vincent's.
hope.
Almost double digits. So
All right, game 3.
almost single.
Game 3, we're at Bishop Lures. This was the game that went into overtime for everybody that remembers. Final score, Priest 46, Seminarians 44.
This was my first game, and that was the game that I vowed never to miss a Cupertino Classic. We had the kids with us and said, this is going to be fun. And so the following year, we went up the day before, took the boys up, and we spent the night there afterwards and did the show from up in South Bend. So we're up to, this is game 4.
Game 4 at St. Joe High School.
Last year.
The prophetic year.
A lot of snow.
Oh, it was great.
A lot
The
of
first
snow.
year I made my debut.
Yeah.
Seminarians 51, Priests a mere 36.
Ooh.
Tables had turned.
That is almost the opposite of the prior year.
Yeah.
That was because
2 years ago.
our class pumped in like 7 new seminary.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there
we had
were
10 new that year.
eight new seminarians.
Yeah.
But Deacon, you were out with your ACL.
Yes, I was on the
So
clock
you were
on this one. So
spectating.
I was.
Okay. But this was Jake and Vince's first game.
Yes.
So maybe do you take some partial credit for this?
If you look at the scoreboard of how much I scored, probably not.
Yeah, me neither.
But you know what? It's not all about the scoring. You need
It's true.
You need
I might have had
defense,
some
you need
rebounds.
assists.
You know.
Yeah.
Everybody's out there.
All right. And then that was a great game. It was so much fun to watch.
It was fun to play.
Last night was a close game. Kind of came down to
Yeah.
the last 30 seconds what was going to happen. Why don't you give us a little rundown of the game?
Yeah, like Kyle said, it was a close game. I think in the first quarter, you had different leads. So in the beginning, the Seminarians were leading, and then the Priests led, and it kind of just went back and forth, back and forth. And then throughout the rest of the game, the Seminarians were ahead, but only by a few points. I would always just gaze up at the scoreboard real quick. It would probably be maybe an 8-point lead, 6-point lead, and then it would get down to like a 3 or 2-point lead. But then we would start making our shots. And the Priests, the difference between this year and last year, the Priests were making more of their shots. Last year, Father Terry, Father Matt, they were throwing up and nothing was falling for them. This year, everything was falling for them.
Yeah.
So, and you can see that in the score, really close score there, 51-47. So yeah, very close game, very well fought. And we had a good spread for the Seminarians, points spread all around. For the Priests, it looked like Father Terry had most of their points. He had 21 points last night.
Wow.
And that's the most any guys have scored in the
Of
game.
47, yeah.
Yeah, he had almost half their points. It was
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
A very aggressive game. I mean, it's not a kind of a peaceful, just kind of jog down the court, let them take the shot, cherry picking. I mean, it was running up and down, diving after balls.
Yeah.
Vince, you were on the floor diving for one a couple times I saw. And just seeing the competitive nature, who would you say, maybe picking one from the Seminarian team and one from the Priest team, most competitive? Not necessarily the best, not necessarily getting the most points, but who is the most competitive on the teams?
I think Father Matt.
Oh, I would
is the most
100% say Father Matt.
He's got that look in his eye.
He's got the look. He's got the cutoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he cuts off his sleeves.
Cuts off the
that's been
sleeves.
a
You know he
tradition.
means business.
Yeah. He's the only one that does it. Completely soaked by the end of the night. Also, bloody.
Yeah.
Literally bloody.
Oh, yeah.
By
that
the
was-
end of the night. He took an elbow to the face.
Yep.
At one point, and he had a couple smudges on his shirt that he was trying to kind of cover up so he didn't get pulled out of the game, I think. I don't know how legal that is. All right, who on the Seminarian team do you think is the most competitive?
That's that. For me, that might be a toss-up, but I'd have to say Ben Landry.
I'd have to
That,
say
that was going to be
as
my
well,
guess.
Yeah, because I mean he always gets us pumped up. He's our leader. He's played basketball for years, and he always tells us, guys, like, keep it together. It's gonna be all right. It's just a game for fun. We're trying to promote vocations. He's like, but if I get out of control, let me know.
That's hilarious. We're talking with Deacon Spencer St. Louis, Jake Schneider, Vince Ferrote, fresh off of the Cupertino Classic that happened last night at Bishop Dwenger. The next one, we don't have an official date. It'll be between Christmas and New Year's. That's kind of become the tradition, and it will be at Marion High School. And so you can definitely plan on your road trip if you're in the 106.3 listening area, and if you're in the 95.7 listening area, you have no excuse. Got to be there next year. It's so much fun. We did the live broadcast as well on Redeemer Radio, but the crowd was. This has to
was
be
awesome.
easily the most attended. Actually, I kind of wonder if you took any two Cupertino Classics, if they could rival it. It was a great turnout. Stands were full.
I mean, it was
families, all ages there. Any interaction that you had with the spectators? I think that was kind of a neat thing. Like afterwards, people coming down and talking and
Yeah.
I think that's one of the best parts about the whole Cupertino. It's a lot of fun, especially for the Seminarians and the Priests to have that rivalry to go back and forth on the court. But afterwards, just having that community there, and especially from all of the parishes. I think Father David Tunick, who was one of the MCs last night, was calling out different parishes, especially the priests, and having people cheer for him if that was their pastor.
Right.
So it was really cool to hear people coming from Elkhart, coming from the South Bend side, those from the Fort Wayne side. It was just really cool to see that community all in one gym just for this purpose of fraternity and fellowship in the Lord.
yeah.
Yeah, it's neat. It's cool too because you can see people that you get to know as a seminarian from all around the diocese and like see them travel to both ends. So like I saw people from my summer assignment parish, people
that
from
Little Flower?
which is Little Flower, South Bend with Father Terry Coonan. It felt good to win last night. And then also from Decatur, my home parish, and then just parishes that I helped out with, life team groups. There were a lot of kids who'd come and root us on, and that's just cool to see everyone come together.
Yeah. Are you playing much basketball over in Rome?
We get out every once in a while. Our court's outside, so it depends on the weather, whether or not it's raining. Even if it's middle of December and it's like 40 degrees, we're out there playing.
Really?
So yeah, we played the week that I came back. So all in anticipation for me, at least for the Cupertino.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Any highlights from the game? Particular moments, shots, conversations, commentary from Father David.
Father David's Father Matt has the right to bear arms because he didn't have sleeves on. That was pretty great.
That is good stuff.
It's funny. I always wonder how much of his stuff is prepared. Like he's got some jokes, he's got some stats. He'll talk like the longest basketball game ever. Like just some weird information. But then so much of it's just off the top of his head.
Yeah.
At one point during halftime, did you guys go back in locker rooms or something
For a little bit.
yeah.
I don't know if you saw it, but he starts taking half court shots.
Yeah.
It's just his form. It's like a skip and a leg kick whenever he throws. It was hilarious. One almost went in. It was kind of like an in and out. Several of them not even close. One almost hit a group of kids that were sitting on the stage. It's like, no, move.
He also took off his jacket and gave it to Tuffy, which as a Dwenger grad, that was a lot of fun to see him because he was a senior my sophomore year, and he was Tuffy. So that was a lot. It was really cool just to see him interacting with
Tuffy. I'm assuming is the mascot.
Mascot, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That would be awesome to have. I don't know if all of our Catholic high schools have mascots, but it'd be cool to have all 4 of them at the game.
That would
be sweet.
That'd be awesome.
It's just fun to see a lot of students, a lot of kids. It's such a fun social environment, but also I think a great vocations. Like you said, raising awareness for vocations, raising funds for vocations. People could make donations to the Seminarian Fund, which actually you can still do. You can donate online even through the diocesan website. But what would you hope maybe would be either the same or different for next year's Cupertino Classic?
I mean, I want to win.
Yeah.
So the scoreboard, hopefully that's the same.
No.
Yeah, I just hope our South Bend side, we had a good showing last year at St. Joe.
It was.
I hope we have another good showing at Marion. I think the greatest thing is for other young men, women who are discerning a vocation to priesthood, religious life, they're able to see that the well-roundedness of what a vocation looks like.
Yeah.
Because when people hear vocation, all they think of is prayer.
Right.
Prayer, mass, which are a part of it and a great part of it. But there's just a bigger picture that people don't see. And so this Cupertino Classic, it shows the more competitive side, the backgrounds of every guy. You can see who played sports in high school. You can see who really loves to entertain a crowd, Father David Hunick.
Yeah.
But you get to see this whole other side of the priesthood, which you wouldn't be able to see without this game.
Yeah. And one little spoiler alert for something that's coming down the road. I've already recorded a flavor of the week, so 4 episodes with Monsignor Michael Heinz. We sat down at Racket Helen's, which had great food and wine. You'll have to listen to it. It's going to start in January, and it was so much fun kind of getting to know him a little bit, but also hearing, one, his passion for sports. He was one of the referees last night.
Huge.
But also his passion for the seminarians and the way he talks about you guys and his enthusiasm for the seminarians that we have right now. He said, I would be honored to be an associate pastor for any one of these seminarians. So it was just really beautiful to hear his testimony and to see him out there last night running up and down the court with the other referees. And he's an actual official. So it wasn't just like, let's throw a priest in this position. But
no, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he enjoys it more than us sometimes.
All right, coming up, we are going to play a game with our seminarians and then talk a little bit more about what it's like to be on break as a seminarian here on the Kyle Hyman Show on Redeemer Radio.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all of our listeners from the Redeemer Radio team. Thank you for tuning in this year, for your prayers and your support. We hope you are able to celebrate the 12 days of Christmas with abundant joy and love surrounded by family and friends.
Thank you for being a part of Redeemer Radio. We look forward to a new year of learning and growing in faith with you as we continue to make Christ known.
Short. They got 2 seconds to go. Terry Kuhn and I lost a hand. No chance for a prayer shot. But we have the seminary. I love watching him. Nobody's going to go in there.
He's standing there. He's got his arms wide out. Come at me, bro.
The seminary team certainly lacks in size.
Well, or bravery. I'm not sure which. Or maybe it's the other way around. They're wiser than we know.
Yeah, that's right.
Till it's halftime. We'll take a little bit of a break. 29-25 your score.
This is Kyle Hyman. I am here with Nicole Rudolph and 3 of our seminarians, Deacon Spencer St. Louis, Jake Schneider, Vince Verrote. We're going to play a game. Before we do, though, it's time for some Tribond. If you're listening yesterday, our Tribond was bars, bells, fruit, all 3 of which are things on a slot machine, part of a slot machine. Today's Tribond, 3 things have one thing in common: a short men's haircut, a type of saw, one of the first men on the moon. If you know the answer, email show@redeemerradio.com. Call or text the Holy Cross College text line at 260-436-9598. Again, it is a short men's haircut, a type of saw, one of the first men on the moon. Deacon Spencer, do you think your family's gotten this one yet?
They might not be up, but they'll get it, I think.
They're always pretty quick to respond.
We love them.
So we'll see. All right, now it's time for a game. This is a game that we're calling...
Who said it? A saint or a basketball player?
Oh. I like this.
This will be fun. This will be great.
Who said it? A saint or a basketball player? All right. Are there any instructions, or are we just getting
Pretty
into it?
self-explanatory. Just did a saint say it or basketball player?
Okay.
All right, you guys ready for this?
Do we have 50-50 chance, or do we have to say which saint or basketball player said it?
You just have to guess saint or basketball player.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right. Let's go.
Okay. I can accept failure, but I cannot accept not trying. Who said it?
That is so vague. Everybody said that.
Right.
That's probably a basketball player. Though,
And
right?
Yoda.
Star Wars.
That's what I'm
I was
I'm
gonna
thinking
go
a basketball player.
Basketball player.
Yes.
I'm going to go with
Correct.
basketball.
Oh, yes.
I could so see John Paul II saying that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
All right, next one. An excuse is worse and more terrible than a lie, for an excuse is a lie guarded.
I think that was John Paul II.
That's
It
a saint.
was.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
I knew it was a saint. That's
Okay. Love never fails. Character never quits.
Love never fails. Sounds like a
Very
saint.
biblical.
That's scriptural.
But character never quits.
That's the...
Can there be a mix? I'm going to go basketball
I think
player.
go basketball.
Okay.
Correct.
basketball.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, we're doing
Who was
pretty good.
Who was that? Do we know?
For basketball player, that's Pete Maravich.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that Pistol Pete?
I don't know. Maybe.
I only play it. I don't know it.
We're not basketball historians.
I'm not going to say anything.
Always forward, never back.
Ooh, that totally sounds like a basketball player.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it also
But
works
it
really
also-
good in
yeah.
the religious life.
Yeah.
The faith
Cool.
life.
I want to say saint. I'm going to go saint.
You got this. Yeah,
Oh.
it's Saint Juniper
I
Sarah.
know nothing.
Yes.
Ooh,
I'd heard it
okay.
before, but I couldn't remember.
You got this. Okay, so discipline is doing what has to be done when it has to be done, as well as it can be done, and doing it the way all the time.
I think that's saint.
I bet it's Jose Maria Escriva.
Oh no.
No.
It's a basketball player. That's Bob Knight.
I was thinking basketball player.
Did he read
Oh
Jose
my
Maria
goodness.
Escriva?
Maybe.
So good.
That's hilarious.
It was all about do. I
Yeah.
can do everything. So I was
Open
like,
state.
Yeah.
sounds like a
All right.
basketball player.
So next one. You guys ready?
Yes.
Be kind to all and be severe to yourself.
That seems more saintish than basketballish.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, yeah.
I would guess
I would guess
Yes.
saint.
All right,
That's Saint Teresa Avila.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Are you bored? That's because you keep your senses awake and your soul asleep.
That's
Saint.
Saint.
Is that Ignatius of Loyola?
No, that's you're right. It was a saint, but that's Jose Escriva.
Oh.
So-
Okay.
I'm all whack.
The fact that you can guess a saint,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not even to that level.
Okay. Next one. I don't do a thing half-heartedly because I know if I do, then I can expect half-hearted results.
Basketball
I would say
player.
basketball.
Great
Results.
quote, though.
Basketball player Michael Jordan.
MJ 23. I got so excited.
He knows everything about basketball. He knows Michael Jordan's number.
See, I'm not on that level yet.
Almost. Okay, next quote. There is no place for selfishness, no place for fear.
No place for selfishness. No
I'm
place-
feeling a saint this
I
time.
could see either one.
I really could, but I'm feeling the saint because of
this is
fear.
ridiculous how hard this is.
I know.
We got a 50-50 chance. We're still having a hard time figuring this out.
I feel like it's too poetic
Yeah.
to not be a saint.
Oh, okay.
The fear factor is what makes me think it's a saint.
The fear.
The fear factor. Yes, it's John Paul II.
Boom. Roasted.
Only praise behavior you want to see repeated.
Oh. That seems like good parenting advice.
Yeah.
I could go with, I think, basketball.
I'm going to
I
go
would
with
go
basketball.
Basketball player Dean Smith. Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
Some people want it to happen. Some wish it would happen. Others make it happen.
Oh, that sounds basketball.
I bet it's
for sure.
basketball.
That's like a Nike commercial.
That's
Just
Michael
do it.
Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
Probably in a McDonald's commercial.
McDonald's commercial. Probably.
Hanes.
Tagless, always.
Be joyful and keep your faith and your creed.
Oh,
It's got to be a
No.
saint.
I don't know.
I bet it's going to be misleading. Because
Really?
it says creed.
Well, it says your creed.
Your creed.
Oh,
Misleading.
I
Rocky.
think I'm with Vince on this one. I think it's gonna be basketball.
you think it's basketball?
I'm going to put my neck on the
I'm gonna say
line, but
saint,
Nicole
but
just
whatever.
made a bad
Yeah.
noise, so it's probably a
Oh,
saint.
it's definitely a saint. Yeah. it's a-
Yeah, it's a saint. It's saint.
See, we knew it.
I read it. Too.
Okay. You were very hurt at being slighted. That means you're forgetting too easily who you are.
That's a saint.
Saint.
I've heard that before.
That's a saint. Yeah. Saint Maria Scriba.
I've read that before.
You read more books than me.
Or at least Jose Maria.
Okay, here's a good one. This one might be tricky, guys. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Men are like wine. Some turn to vinegar, but the best improve with age.
That's a saint.
Sounds like Proverbs.
I want to say it's Saint Augustine, maybe.
It's a saint, but it's Saint John Paul II.
He's a good one.
I like that quote.
Commitment separates those who live their dreams and those who live their lives regretting the opportunities they have squandered.
Basketball.
I love that word.
It works so well for both, but
Yeah.
that seems more basketball.
It is basketball. Yeah. The future starts today, not tomorrow.
Oh,
Oh, that sounds so John Paul II, but also like Bob Knight.
never compared those two in my life.
That might be the first time it's ever been done.
I don't know. What are we going with?
Basketball player or saint?
I'm gonna go saint.
All right.
It is a saint. Yeah. And Vince always gets the saint since it was John Paul II. Yeah.
All right. Well, coming up, we're going to talk more about the seminarians, what they're up to, what they've been doing over break. What does it look like when a seminarian is quote unquote on break? I know you guys work a lot when you're on break. So we'll find out about that right here on our special episode of the Kyle Hyman Show with our seminarians. Keep listening to more coming up here on the Kyle Hyman Show on Redeemer Radio.
As the year comes to a close, we start thinking about our goals, the ones accomplished and the ones we haven't begun. One goal some have is to give more, to help their neighbors more intentionally, care for their family with greater patience, or to give to the causes they care passionately about. But you don't have to wait until next year. There's still time to give. We ask you to ponder how your ongoing generosity would enable Redeemer Radio to continue nurturing the faith of all our brothers and sisters in Christ.
This is Kyle Hyman, and joining us this morning are three of our seminarians for the diocese: Deacon Spencer St. Louis, Jake Schneider, Vince Ferrote. We've been talking about the Cupertino Classic. We played a little game, which I like the game. It was amazing how hard it was to distinguish between a saint quote and a basketball player quote. It just shows like both are working towards like virtue, right?
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
both trying to excel at what they're doing, and I think that was kind of part of the Cupertino Classic, is just seeing guys that are just out there trying to do their best. And I like some people have said that either team probably wouldn't be able to beat our high school teams in basketball.
Probably true.
That's combined.
Actually, I think that might have been you that said that.
Oh, it's
Jake.
so true.
Yeah. So much fun. You guys are back for break, and I was kind of curious, what does it look like for a seminarian that's on break? Because it sounds like you guys are still working. You're in the parishes, still shadowing priests, serving at masses, going to schools, doing visitations. So can you give us what it looks like, your fall break, your Christmas break? What does it look like when you're at home?
Yeah, so at home, most of seminarians, we do school visits. So we try to visit the high schools, see the kids there, go to the all the grade schools in the area, with Fort Wayne and South Bend, try to promote vocations, try to let people see what seminarian life is like, and if they have questions about being a priest, being a religious sister or brother, everything like that. And they get to see our personal side, so they can ask us literally any question.
Yeah, what are some of the questions that you get?
I mean, you get like, what's your favorite music, your movie, you know, the more human side of it.
Yeah.
You know, what's your favorite color for second graders?
Kids, I've noticed this with Bishop whenever we have kids ask questions, lots of what's your favorite?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They want to know.
People want to know what your favorite thing is.
The weirdest one was we visited St. Louis over by New Haven, St. Louis Bezonsons, and we had like 4 classes. Like they did not talk to each other, ask us what our favorite kind of apple was. And we're like, this is the most obscure, but it kept coming up.
Was that something the school was doing? Like,
no. These kids just wanted to know what our favorite apples were. So,
what'd you say?
Yeah, what is your favorite apple?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, that's an important.
That's the real question.
Anything but Red Delicious.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anything but that.
It's true.
Honey
They're
Crisp
very
all
waxy.
the way.
Oh,
Granny
those are
Smith.
good.
Honey Crisp.
Honey Crisp is good.
My favorite.
Yeah.
So, Deacon Spencer, you're in a little bit different situation. You're over in Rome studying. Which, by the way, how is Mark doing over there? Mark Hellinger?
He's doing well. He's adjusting well to the life over there, and I think he's in London right now for Christmas. So he's having a good time.
Do you see him very often?
All the time. Yeah, it's great having him there. We're just about 30 feet away from each other. Our rooms are. So we're in each other's rooms.
And how does it work with where you're staying versus where you're studying? Is it the same building or campus, or what does it look like?
We're at 2 different, well, our school and where we live are 2 different places.
Okay.
And then he is at where I was for my first 3 years. So I just switched universities this year. So we're at different places with that. But
so you don't bump into each other,
not after class and things like that. But it's a lot of fun just having him near and hanging out all the time. It's good to have him.
And for those that don't know, you do all of your studies in Italian
for the first cycle. My new school is mostly in English, which is a lot better for me because it's a lot less taxing on the mind. But it's in English for that one.
My whole body just got a little bit more relaxed.
Right.
Just the idea of doing everything in Italian just sounds so stressful.
Yeah.
So now that you're a deacon, are you able to be active in a parish, or are you just mostly focused on your studies?
At least over there, I'm with the university, so I'm with the Notre Dame Study Abroad program. And so we go over to their campus every once in a while to have mass, holy hours. We do pilgrimages with them, and things like that. So it's nice for me because it's a connection back to the diocese.
Yeah. Are you doing homilies and stuff?
A little bit, yeah.
In Italian?
English.
Have you done any Italian homilies?
I have not. No. So
smart man.
So far.
What about when you were studying? Like, would you take a homiletics class and stuff?
We do for our
Italian?
practica. No, it's mostly in English.
Okay.
We do those all at the North American College where we live.
Yeah.
So everyone there speaks English, so we just like to keep it easy.
Yeah. And then gearing up for ordination this summer.
June 1st.
Which, by the way, I made a bet with Bishop, and he bet for the seminarians, and so I by default took the priest. Not no, like, it was just what was left.
You're wearing the white shirt.
Yeah. So because he won, my end of the bet that I have to do is we're going to do a special episode of Truth and Charity.
Okay.
That's going to be kind of a behind the scenes look at the ordination.
Ooh.
So
That'll actually.
I don't know exactly how it's going to work out, but I'm going to go around with a microphone. Maybe like the week leading up to it, I can get some interviews and stuff with family and friends. But then kind of the day of, if I'm able to, I don't want to impose or get in the way at all, but to just get a little bit of like what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what's the preparation been like, talk to some family and friends that are there at the ordination, kind of edit it all together and put together a little special episode of Truth and Charity. Kind of give people a little bit of a little deeper. I don't think it's going to be so much behind the scenes as like, oh, this is how it works, but more like this is who these people are. These are their families, and especially with like Deacon Jose Arroyo, his family is in Puerto Rico.
I believe so.
I think they said some of them will be in town for the ordination, so it might be kind of one of our few opportunities to get to know them a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's something people can look forward to. I'm so excited for it.
That'd be cool.
Got 3 of you and, like I said, Deacon
Neezer
Jose Arroyo.
and Deacon Jose.
Yeah. So what is kind of the final, 6 months?
Yeah, 5 months from the New Year's Day.
Yeah, what's that going to look like? What are you doing to prepare for ordination?
There's going to be a lot of stress involved. No, there's a lot of planning just from the diocesan side with the music, what readings we want to choose, who we're having do different parts. And then there's also on the home parish side, setting up that first Mass for June 2nd. Again, figuring out music, who's going to do what. On our side, there's a lot of exciting things like vestment shopping, picking out your chalice, a lot more of the smaller things, but for us, it's really exciting.
Yeah.
Like equating it to either like a wedding, like picking out the ring, things like that. Like,
so do you have vestments already?
I do not. No, I have my chalice, but I don't have my vestments yet.
Where did you get your chalice?
Over at school in Rome. Yeah. So
do people do hand-me-down chalices sometimes? Okay.
Sometimes. But I just don't know enough older priests yet. So,
so your vestments, like, are you just going to get one vestment? Do you get those as gifts?
It varies.
As well?
Yeah, I know in the past, people have given them as gifts. Father Andrew equated this really well with someone who was on the pilgrimage for my ordination to the diaconate, and he said, gifting a vestment is kind of like gifting a woman her wedding dress. And so in that way, it's a little easier if you give money and designate it for the use of vestments, because each guy has a different style of taste and what he likes.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So just money designated for that would be a more practical.
Yeah.
I imagine there's a lot more options over in Rome.
Yes.
For you to be able to look through in different shops and stuff like that, right?
There's a whole little street that we call like Clerical Boulevard, where it's like you have a lot of the bigger names. You have Barbacone, you have Gammarelli, and then there's like 4 or 5 different stores, and each of them have different fabrics and designs that they'll do, and you can handpick this and that, whichever you'd like.
We're here with Deacon Spencer St. Louis, Jake Schneider, Vince Ferrote, 3 of our seminarians. We had Cupertino Classic last night. Don't forget to plan on being at Marian High School next year. Date to be announced, but sometime between Christmas and the New Year. It's been so much fun, the Cupertino Classics. I've been to the last 3. All of them been great games, lots of fun. Getting to know our seminarians here a little bit. When do you head back to Rome?
I head back on the 5th of January.
And then when do you guys go back to the Mount?
January 6th.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what will you guys be studying? Let's start with Deacon.
So I'll go back and actually finish my semester. I'm still midway through the first semester since we're offset.
Okay.
So I'll go back and continue my studies in dogmatic theology.
And then when do you finish that?
End of January, I think, our exams.
Okay. And then do you squeeze something else in before ordination?
Well, we'll have another week or 2 of break, and then we do our second semester.
Okay.
Yep.
And then Jake and Vince, are you on the same tracks with the same classes, or?
All in all, yeah. I mean, there's a few differences, mostly in electives that we have, but our core classes are a lot of the same. So a lot of philosophy. We have a 2-year philosophy program that we're completing up now called pre-theology. And then we move into theology, which is what Spencer is wrapping up currently, which is kind of like a master's program.
We reach our huge milestone, finishing philosophy at the end of May.
Okay.
So that'll be good to look forward to. And actually, right when we get back, all the seminarians at the Mount, we have a 5-day silent retreat. And by silent, I mean we're turning off the phone, computers.
Talking.
Yeah, literally just silent. It's basically, I tell people it's 5 things. You sleep a lot, you eat a lot, you pray a lot, you read, and you exercise.
Yeah.
And you're exercising without music. So it's a little different because I always listen to music while I exercise.
Yeah.
We also have this little like exercise room in the seminary that we use, but it's really, it was so awkward over the silent retreat because there was like 8 of us down there at the same time because it's always convenient for everybody at the same time. And it's just dead silent and heavy breathing. And like, you're just trying not to, like, don't make eye contact with anybody. And
don't laugh. Don't bump
you
into
can't
them.
laugh. Yeah. Well, you can laugh. Someone would like chastise you, but you're trying to. Like,
I'm
stay
always
in the
terrible.
spirit.
I try to make guys laugh when we're at the lunch line. I always bump into them and I'll be like, "Hey, dude, watch it," and they'll be like, because we're on silent retreat. Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
So philosophy versus theology, which do you like more, or which are you into?
I was majoring in theology prior to seminary, so there's my answer.
Okay.
But philosophy's good.
Yeah, I've talked to some of the first theologians and above, especially like Joe Nepper, who's in First Theology. And from what he was telling me, you have this mix of philosophy and theology, which I won't really understand until I get there.
Yeah.
But it sounds like a really rewarding thing because you're using those tools. Yeah, you're using those tools that you learned in philosophy, and now you're using them in theology. And I'm just like, wow,
That's why they do philosophy first.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I'm super actually grateful for having been able to continue philosophy, because going back and reading Aquinas or other theologians that I read in my theology degree, you can get so much more out of them with, metaphysics and ancient philosophy and all these other backgrounds that you wouldn't have necessarily gotten if you just did theology.
So let's maybe take a step back. What is the difference between philosophy and theology?
Vince?
It's a loaded question. Theology would deal more explicitly with God. So theology, etymology being study of God. Philosophy,
like proofs of God's existence and things like that.
So there's some bridges. So philosophy more deals with reason and our ability to kind of know and correspond to reality itself, and find truth. Which, if God is ultimate truth, then we should be able to know certain things about God. So there's kind of this bridge area called natural theology, which is like philosophy that leads us to God. But it's not like explicit studying divine revelation. It's what can we know through our reason, So that's where you get Thomas Aquinas's five ways and all these other arguments for God's existence. So there's some crossover.
Do these guys know how to party or what? All right. Well, what are you looking forward to most about going back to Rome, Deacon Spencer St. Louis?
I think just the anticipation of ordination coming up.
Yeah.
It's been an 8-year-long program, so just really being able to come to just about the end of it, it's going to be awesome.
Do you get to pick songs or anything for the ordination mass?
Ordination mass, we've done a lot of the planning already. So a lot of the music has been picked out. Some of it is the same as last year and in previous years, but we've also had a couple different things this year.
And then Deacon Neeser and Deacon Arroyo will go into parishes.
Correct.
We would assume.
Yep.
You will go back and finish one more year of school in Rome.
Yes, I'll do a couple months in a parish this summer, and then I'll go back about mid-September to finish out my second degree.
All right. So it's so exciting. Looking forward to it so much. What are you guys looking forward to most about going back to seminary?
More intramural championships.
Yeah. That was interesting. So for those that don't follow the Facebook page for Cupertino Classic, there was a whole list of all the different, was it a video or was it pictures of...
I mean, we've had videos, we've had pictures.
Yeah,
videos
but of all the different intramural championships that you guys won.
Yeah, the culture is really starting to become, we win everything.
Yeah, the college students kind of don't like when they have to play us because we're decent at most things we do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's good. The diocese is pretty well represented at the Mount.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 19 of us, which is the most out of any diocese there.
That's great. All right, well, thank you guys so much. Keep up the great work. It's so good to check in with you, and we're so excited about your ordination coming up, Deacon, and it's so good to have you here. We want to thank Notre Dame Federal Credit Union for underwriting the show, their support. Back on Monday with another episode. Until then, leave room for the Holy Spirit.
So Landry dribbles it 3 times, spins it, launches it, count it.
Easy. Nice.
51-47, and it looks like Joe, doggone, you guys are going to, I'm leaning the priest way.
That might be that's the ice right there.
And it's no good. Freiberger with the rebound. Going to launch about a 70-footer. See that going.
Off the rim.